guys. So it's 6:15. I'm here in Gloucester and we are heading to Coventry for the next 3 days. We're just taking a trip to Coventry, time out away from all the stress, hustles and bustles of Gloucester. So I just want to do a vlog of the entire trip. We're catching the train by 6:45, and I'll try to explore the city of Coventry if I can. But then basically, I'm just going to take you guys on this trip. So come with me. My husband and I started running so fast. We're walking so fast. So we're not going to miss our train. We got to where we're supposed to cross, waiting for the lights to turn green so we can cross. And by the way, that's Aldi. That's like the closest store to our house. Yeah, it used to be Asda. I'll show you where we stayed before we moved. Anyways, we're trying to catch the train because what happens is if we missed the 6:45 train, the next one was going to be for 7:49. That's like over an hour. No one wants to wait at the train station. It's very stressful. Anyways, we continued running as we were talking, hoping that the train was not going to leave before we get to the train station. And then at this point, we were not even halfway through, and we decided to pass the park instead of the road. It gives us the freedom to, especially me doing video and all of that. Anyways, we continued. At this point, it was almost 6:45, I believe. We had just maybe 10 minutes left, and so we were trying to walk as fast as possible. I was running, I was panting at this point. I hate to run. I hate to be late for the train or the bus. It's very stressful because once you're 1 minute late, trust me, the train or the bus is gone. They don't wait for anybody. The only saving grace you would have is if they got delayed due to something, and then you're the one that's going to wait for them. They will not wait for you. Anyway, we're still inside the park here, and then eventually we got out of the park. Let me show you where we were before. There's that building that is painted. Is it ash or gray? Yeah, the building beside, after the white building, the ash and the gray, then the building beside it, that's where we were before.
In 40 yards, arrive at Gloucester.
If it was this flat, it would have been easier. Guys.
Arrived.
Platform. My own. Hey. Hey. Thank you. Platform 4, we're going the other side. We're taking the fleet. That's 4. Over the bridge, oh. She want move. Try to your car. Walk down. That's the train we're supposed to go with. Babe. Right?
Doors opening. Lift going up.
Thank you. Vale, Shimo.
Doors closing.
Anyways, we got to the other side of the railway, platform 4, and the train I said was the train we're supposed to go with. Apparently, that was not the train. Our train was delayed, luckily. If you look at the screen I'm about to show you, you see the 6:45 train delayed in front. Yeah, so that's what happens sometimes. it's either it's delayed or it's cancelled, and that gave us a chance to just not miss the train. Here I was just so happy that all our runnings did not end in vain, and so we just waited for the train to come. The train came and I was so excited. This is the train that was supposed to go with that got delayed. Anyways, the doors opened and we started getting into the train. When we got in, we had to like take our son out of the stroller, and then we had our seats, and then shortly after, like 50 minutes afterwards, we got to Cheltenham. So Cheltenham is like the next stop after Gloucester by the train. Cheltenham, when driving, would take you about 30 minutes or thereabout. But with the bus is about 40 to 1 hour depending on where in Cheltenham you're going from Gloucester. But with the train it's just like 15 minutes away. And then the train waited to pick other people at Cheltenham Spa. By the way, it's usually very cold. It's colder than Gloucester. And after the train picked up the passengers, shortly after the train proceeded to Birmingham New Street. I think we even had a stop at Birmingham. They call it University, but it's in Birmingham. I think we had a stop there before we even got to Birmingham New Street. I can't remember, but it's usually Gloucester, Cheltenham, I think the University, and then Birmingham New Street. There's Birmingham International, and then there's Coventry. There are other stops in between, but I can't remember the name. My husband and I were gisting here, and then we got to, I think this is the University, and other people came down from the train while others got into the train, and the train proceeded again. And after this stop was going to be Birmingham New Street, where we were also going to stop. And at this point we were I think it was past 7 at this point. Yeah, I think it was past 7, almost 8 p.m. at this point. By the way, it's usually bright. We are now in that state. Yeah, we're now in that state where it gets very bright even in the night. So around here, it was like that time. Anyways, we're about to get down the train. So we're just preparing to come down from the train. Some persons seated because they were not stopping there. They were still going farther, but we were supposed to catch another train from Birmingham New Street to Coventry. And even while, we were out of the train trying to get to the next platform for the next train that was in about 16 minutes, yeah. I didn't realize that I had lost my phone right in that train that you just saw moving on. We're just chilling here. We got into the lift, and when I was about to tap, the way you saw me tap at Gloucester, tapping is simply scanning your ticket from one place to another. So I was about to tap and I couldn't find my phone, and it dawned on me that it must have fallen from my pocket because the kind of trouser I was wearing was not it wasn't so tight, so I knew that things could fall off from it. Anyway, this is Birmingham train station, very big, one of the biggest and busiest. You can see we have about 12 platforms, if not more. Anyways, I lost my phone.
I lost my phone. I just lost my phone now. We're coming down from the train to get on another to Coventry, and I wanted to tap and I couldn't find it. We've been here for a while trying to talk to them, so I just pray I find it. It's my main SIM.
Luckily for us again, after trying to talk to them and all of that, I didn't find my phone. Hold on. The train was also delayed, and if not, would have probably missed it. So we got to Coventry around past 8:26 thereabout, and this was us getting out of the train station through the lift. You saw my husband dancing, right? Anyways, we had ordered Uber because it was like 20 something minutes walk from the train station to where we were going, and we're so tired. And so we ordered Uber. That's the car, the white car over there. We got into the Uber to take us home to where we were going. And I could not even film, our trip from Birmingham New Street to Coventry. That was about just few minutes because I didn't have the vibe anymore. I was just thinking about my phone, and I had this hope that I was going to find it. They were going to find it because they would usually bring lost properties from the trains to the stops, the train stations, yeah. And so I just had, and I've had a lot of people tell me that they lost their phones in the train. They were called to come take it back. So I just felt like I was going to find it, but honestly, I still did not have that vibe that much because I was also tired. Anyways, this was us driving home in the Uber. This was bringing back memories. Coventry is such a beautiful city. I mean, this was where we stayed when we just arrived in the country before we moved to Gloucester. I was too tired, and this was the next morning. This is the view from the room that we were. I was too tired to film anything after we got there that night. And this is the view from the living room. As you can see, it's so beautiful. These are the windows of people's, rooms and living rooms and kitchens. That's the lake over there, so beautiful, and it made the environment really cold. This is the view from the kitchen as well. And shortly after, in the morning, we had akara and pap, bean cake and pap for breakfast. This was us frying the akara, the bean cake, yeah. And then this was when my husband and I were served by a wonderful host, and then we devoured it. And after that, I had this granola and yogurt for brunch, and then we headed out to the city center, and that's exactly what I wanted to show you guys. Come with me as I take a trip around the heart of the city of Coventry, and just see the beautiful city. By the way, it was so cold because we were beside the lake or whatever. Yeah, this is it. I dropped some pictures afterwards that we took. Anyways, it was sunny, but yet it was so cold. But it was such a beautiful, beautiful, weather. It was so beautiful. And then we got to this bridge. By the way, from home to the city center was about 20 something minutes walk, if I'm not mistaken. They gave us the heads up about the bridge we were going to, encounter. I just didn't have an idea of how bad it was going to be because, oh my God, it was so scary. It was like I was in the hair or something. I didn't know it was like this. I was freaking scared and I screamed. But thank God I still was able to do the video of that. Okay? It was at this point I knew that me and it we are not 5 and 6. Listen to my scream.
Yeah, Jesus. Ah, no, no, no. Yeah. Don't leave me, please. Yeah, please. Now I'm serious. Yeah, Jesus. Jesus.
Look at the bridge, oh, can you imagine? Anyway, we got off the bridge and I was happy, and thankfully we didn't come back to the house through that bridge. We did not. We took the bus back home. We got to the city center, and there's so many stores, beautiful stores. The ones selling food, the ones selling jewelries, the ones selling shoes. I mean, there are so many beautiful things to see at the city center of Coventry. In fact, any city center of anywhere is like where the magic happens. It's always bubbly and just so beautiful. And if you're coming to a city center anywhere in the United Kingdom, just ensure that you come with a budget. You know exactly what you want to get, and you face what you came to get, because you could literally spend all your money entering all the stores and getting a thing or two if you don't have that discipline, because everything is so beautiful at the city center. That's the Primark, and we're heading straight into the heart of the city center itself. We went through the West Orchards. By the way, at this point, it was already, I think, we're going to 5 p.m. or thereabout. I honestly can't remember. I didn't document the time, but it's usually still very bright. Remember, I showed you in the train. It's usually still very bright, even when it's 8 p.m. in the night, because I mean, I don't know, but that's the weather we have right now. And we got into some of the stores. That's the British Heart Foundation, where they sell charity stuff for an affordable price. That's One Beyond. That's C&S, where you get affordable clothes. I was shocked when I saw the prices of clothes. That's Marks and Spencer. They also sell clothes there and all of that. That's Claire's. That's M&S. I mean, there's so many beautiful stores at City Center, and you see those jewelries. It's screaming, "Come and pick me! Come and pick me!" Because they are even under the lights. And that's the fragrance shop. Many perfume stores. I'm a sucker for perfumes. I loved the smell. And then we proceeded to the Coventry market because we needed to get some things. But shortly before then, my husband was pressed, and so we went towards where the toilet is so he could ease himself. By the way, did you see the library? I think that's a thing. I think every city center is where the library is usually at, because back in Gloucester, the library is also at the city center. If you stay in the UK, let me know. Is the library also at your city center? Maybe that's a thing. I don't know. Anyways, this is Pandora. They sell jewelry, very nice. That's the fragrance, another fragrance shop. I mean, as you walk past the fragrance shops, you can already smell. You would literally smell the fragrances. Like it's so nice. Anyways, we got into that walkway that led us through the Coventry market, and there were still many more beautiful stores, and where people did their nails and facials, pedicures, manicures, and all of those things. They were along this line. And then we went straight into the market where my husband was done easing himself. This market is the same as the typical market in Nigeria, at least that's where I'm from, where you get your vegetables, you get your meat, your pepper, your okra, and all of those things. Yeah, that's the kind of market it is. You get everything culture. Yeah, as you can see, yeah, you can see that. So we just came to grab a few things, and excuse me, we came to grab a few things and then we headed back out. I mean, it's funny, right? I remember when I first came into this market, I was like, is this a market or just like a store, a fancy store? No, everything you get in the local market is what they sell here, actually. Look at the yam, look at the oranges, look at the pepper, look at the vegetables, look at everything. Yeah. Anyways, we're done at this point and we made our way back out. It's so big that it gets confusing if you're not careful. You literally lose your way. Anyways, we found a way. I led the way because I'm so good with roads. And then we went back right out and we headed to other stores to get some of the other things that we needed to get. Yeah. So I'll just let you enjoy some music as we left the Coventry market.
Right, we're done. It's been such a trip. We went to different places, different stores. Heading home now. I couldn't film everything, but trust me, Coventry is such a beautiful, beautiful place. Yeah, and things are quite cheaper in Coventry compared to Gloucester. Anyways, I'm going to show you guys what church looks like tomorrow, and that'll be all, right?
It was the next morning, Sunday morning, just like that. The weekend was over. It was so fast. It was the first Sunday of the month, and hence the Agbada on my son and the native, you see, my husband working. I myself wasn't left out. Anyways, we had ordered Uber to take us to church. I heard that walking to church from the house was going to be about I think 20 something minutes. I can't remember honestly, but with Uber it was just going to be 4 minutes drive, and this was few minutes to 10 in the morning. And I said, let me take a few pictures of my son, but it wasn't having it. Just wanted to walk and run around, and so we couldn't get a perfect picture of him in his agbada. Anyways, we got to where the Uber was downstairs, and then we opted in right into the car and headed to church.
we're done with service. We're heading back home, and shortly after, we're heading back to Gloucester. Myself and my husband and my son. It was such a beautiful stay and a beautiful experience here in Coventry. I don't know when next to be coming back, but it was worth the 3 days. And it was what my phone, I'm still hoping that I get my phone back. Yeah, so I'm not going to do anything again. I'm tired. See you guys in the next one. Bye.